The New Orleans Saints are headed back to Miami for the first time since Super Bowl 44. The 2-9 team is looking to get back in the win column against the surging 4-7 Miami Dolphins. Rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck leads all rookie passers in completion percentage and leads a shorthanded offense to South Beach, while Brandon Staley's defense gets more disruptive each game. Week 13 is here, and head coach Kellen Moore and the Saints are marching into Miami in search of a strong start to the final stretch of the 2025 NFL season. Welcome in, everybody, and good morning. Welcome to Saints Game Day Live here on NewOrleansSaints.com. I'm Ross Jackson, in this week for the always incredible Aaron Summers as we get you ready for everything that you need to know ahead of the New Orleans Saints taking on the Miami Dolphins in South Beach. Of course, playing at Hard Rock Stadium, formerly Sun Life Stadium, where the Saints won their first Super Bowl victory. It's a rainy Miami, so let's take a look at some of the matchups that you need to know going into this game. And we'll start off where everything starts, which is, of course, with the head coach Kellen Moore, and his offense going up against Anthony Weaver's defensive coordinator for Miami. Both of these guys were in conversation for the Saints head coaching job, of course, with Coach Moore getting the opportunity, and now he takes his offense over to Miami to go up against what is going to be a very aggressive Miami defense led by Anthony Weaver, who blitzes at the third highest rate in the NFL. So keep your eye on some of those additional pass rushers that might be looking to put some pressure on rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck. And in order to alleviate some of that pressure, look for Kellen Moore to lean in on his run game. Even though the team might be shorthanded in the backfield, the number 29 rushing offense going up against the number 29 rushing defense is going to be looking to guys like rookie running back Devin Neal, second-year rusher Audric Estime, and of course the always exciting quarterback Taysom Hill, the offensive weapon that he is, to take advantage of some opportunities in the run game. Next, we'll be watching those young New Orleans Saints tackles, Kelvin Banks Jr. at left tackle, as well as second-year right tackle Taliese Fuanga, two of the premier talents at tackle in terms of the young talent across the NFL right now, going up against a very, very effective pass rush and disruption-based defense, especially with Bradley Chubb over on the opposite side for Miami, who leads the team right now with 5 sacks and 36 pressures. He's a disruptive, big, but deceptively fast and athletic defensive end, formerly with the Cleveland Browns, still making it happen years into his career here with Miami. Now, flipping over to the Saints defensive side, we're going to be watching how the Saints defensive front works up against that Miami Dolphins run game led by running back Devon Achane, who is an absolute phenom at the position, has brought in over 390 total yards in just the last 2 games, 2 wins for the Miami Dolphins there as well. So look for New Orleans to put a lot of focus, just like they did against Atlanta and just like they did in their win against the Carolina Panthers, on limiting that run game as best as possible. Now, turning the page over to the special team side, as well as some of these coaching matchups, Charlie Smith is going to be getting his first opportunity as an NFL kicker in the same stadium where the Saints won their first ever Super Bowl. An incredible story for the young Irish-born kicker who came in as a part of the NFL's International Pathway Program and has been on the Saints practice squad developing over the last year and a half. He now gets his opportunity for the first time as a starter in the regular season. Now, he has kicked in the preseason, going 5 of 5 on those attempts, including 2 from 50 plus, but we'll see how Charlie Smith responds to his major opportunity here today over in South Beach. Of course, we'll be watching rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck, who's on pace to set New Orleans Saints passing yards records for a rookie passer, one of which, in terms of passing yards, was set just last year by Spencer Rattler. And, of course, head coaches Kellen Moore and Mike McDaniel, both offensively minded head coaches, looking to go out there and put their stamp on this game as well. Look for both of them to try to do so through their run game. But the deep passing game, of course, very lethal for both of these coaches. Now, let's send things over to our good friends Scott Shanley and Stan Verrett for their thoughts on this matchup against the Dolphins.
We're looking at the matchups. You look at the New Orleans Saints offense versus the Miami Dolphins defense. The Miami Dolphins defense, they have not stopped the run well this year. They've really struggled in that department. They've struggled taking the football away. What they do have are two edge guys who can give you problems if you get into a straight drop back passing game. You look at Matthew Judon's on one side, heck of a player with the New England Patriots, and the Saints are familiar with him when he was in Atlanta for a short period of time. And Bradley Chubb on the other side. Those two guys, they want to get up the field. They want to get after the passer. You can keep them on their heels a little bit by running the football. And I think that's how you get after this Miami Dolphins defense. Don't get into obvious drop back passing situations. You like the advantage of having Devin Neal, who looked really good against Atlanta last week. Get him going 15 to 20 touches. He's earned that right. He looked explosive last week. Taysom Hill will be a bigger factor in the backfield as well. You can play Taysom anywhere you want. And then continue to build on Tyler Shuck's confidence. 3 weeks ago in Carolina, you saw the strength of his game. Getting the ball down the field, getting vertical in the offense, continue to push the ball down the field. That'll be a little bit harder with Chris's back spasms flaring up a little bit last week. We'll see what his status is for the game. But you'll have Vele as well on the outside. Jawan Johnson on the inside against this Miami Dolphins inside linebacker core, I think, is a big advantage as well. So there are advantages for the Saints offense versus this Miami Dolphins defense that's been struggling. The other side of the ball, it's about getting after Tua. You have to put pressure on him. He's a streaky player. This is a streaky offense. They've won some big games. They beat the Falcons by 21. They beat the Bills by a good score as well. So getting after Tua, if you let him get comfortable, he can go on those 300, 350-yard passing days. He's got weapons. Devon Achane, Jalen Waddle, Darren Waller. Those are three players that you have to try to contain. I think it really starts with the running back at Achane. He's one of those guys like Bijan Robinson. They're going to try to give him the ball in space, and the first guy usually misses. You have to have 11 guys running to the ball after him to help contain him, because in the run game, he can take it the distance. In the pass game, he can take it the distance, and they're going to target him a lot. Waddle on the outside keeps two safeties deep. And then when you keep two safeties deep, that means you have linebackers one-on-one in the middle of Darren Waller, who's been an outstanding player since he came back this year. So a very, very talented Miami Dolphins offense, but it all starts with Tua and whether or not you let him get comfortable or you can rattle him early in the game. And those are the key matchups for today's game.
The Saints are playing at Hard Rock Stadium for the first time since they won Super Bowl 44 there following the 2009 season. Let's talk about a recipe for success to get a win there against the Dolphins. It begins with a fast start. Miami's season has taken on new life. They began 1-6, but they've won 3 of 4 and their last 2. The Dolphins are also coming off their bye week, so they will be rested and healthier than they have been. They will no doubt try to ride their current momentum into a quick start against the Saints, put them in an early hole, and force them to have to play uphill, something they haven't been good at so far this season. So being productive early will be important for the Saints. Saints will also have to limit Miami's Devon Achane. Achane's having a career year. He's currently 4th in the NFL with 900 yards on the ground, and his 5.5 yards per carry is currently 3rd in the league. He's had at least 120 yards in each of his last 2 games, and that includes 174 on the ground in a 30-13 win over the Bills. Achane has sprinter speed, and he's also a factor in the passing game, so the Saints will have to cover and tackle in space because Achane can be a home run hitter in the open field. The Saints will also have to try to find a way to run the ball themselves. The Dolphins have a tackling machine in linebacker Jordan Brooks. He's got 71 solo tackles. That's currently 1st in the NFL, but the run defense overall is only 29th in the league. It'll be asking a lot of rookie Devin Neal to have to shoulder the load, but the Saints really don't have much of a choice. Neal was a productive back in college. He left Kansas as the school's all-time leading rusher, so he is used to carrying a big part of the load in the running game, and he did some good things against Atlanta last week. But the Saints will need more of that if they hope to beat the Dolphins, especially with Alvin Kamara sidelined this week. The Saints will also need to create turnovers. Getting to Tua Tagovailoa could help in that department. Tagovailoa is tied for the NFL lead with 13 interceptions, so if the Saints can pressure him and force him into bad throws, it could certainly help. And the offense could use all the help that it can get because the Saints have to try to find a way to snap out of this current offensive funk. They managed just 3 points on offense last week. That lowered their average to just 15 points per game, which is last in the NFL. To fix that, they have to find answers in the red zone, where they're converting just 34.5% of their trips into touchdowns. That's also last in the NFL. So whether it's through scheme or through matchups, the Saints have to find a way to get the ball into the end zone if they're going to have any success in beating the Dolphins later today.
Thank you so much, Stan and Scott, for sending those in and being here with us and giving us some great insight on this matchup. Of course, starting fast, winning in the run game, scoring in the red zone, all going to be very important. You heard from both of those guys in this matchup. Of course, you'll see Scott after the game here with me post-game, which you can find exactly where you're watching this on NewOrleansSaints.com. Now, let's take a look at the inactives for New Orleans as they head into their matchup, and we're closing in on kickoff within an hour here. A couple of defensive backs lead off the list, Ugo Amadi and Rajon Wright. Running back Alvin Kamara will highlight here in a moment. Obviously, a big loss for New Orleans there. And then in the trenches, offensive tackle Barry Wesley and two defensive tackles, John Ridgway, as well as Christian Boyd, who's in his second year, and newly acquired tight end Zaire Mitchell-Payton also on the list here as the team gets healthier at that position. Now, the loss of Alvin Kamara is obviously a very big one, but you'll notice two important names not on that list who have been on injury lists over the course of the past couple of weeks. That's wide receiver Chris Olave, as well as right tackle Taliese Fuanga. Now, we talked about how important the tackle spot is for New Orleans as we were going through our matchups, but don't lose sight of Chris Olave and his growing connection with rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck. Right now, Chris Olave is on pace to set career highs in receptions, receiving yards, as well as receiving touchdowns, just 2 away with 6 games left to go. So the ground game is going to be very important, but obviously the air attack very important as well. And don't forget Miami getting a little bit stronger there too with the return of tight end Darren Waller, adding to that dynamic and explosive offense with Jalen Waddle there as well. The last time the Saints met Darren Waller, 10 receptions, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. So a player to watch, especially in the red zone, 4 touchdowns over the first 4 games that he played in before going to injured reserve. So let's get you to your countdown to kickoff here as we wrap up our Game Day live here on NewOrleansSaints.com. Make sure that you come back and you find us for our post-game show, which will take place right after the game. And of course, I'm going to give you my prediction here. I've gone a little bit back and forth on this one, but I'm going to give the Saints the opportunity, or I think the Saints will take advantage of this opportunity and maybe walk away with a big win that sets up some momentum here as the season wraps up. Once again, I am Ross Jackson. Thank you very much for being here. Make sure you come and check us out. Catch us right here for the post-game show here at NewOrleansSaints.com. Enjoy the game.